the underdog of skills. And I say the underdog because I believe that humans have the tendency to undermine what is not achieved with a lot of effort and struggle. Not everything is important that you achieved with your studies or with your professional skills. There are people that have this charisma, this talent of having soft skills, or others said, human skills. You get to become better in human skills by interacting with people from different paths of life. So the tendency is when you are little, they tell you, oh, you should be in company with those persons. Avoid those guys. No. You can learn from a nurse, you can learn from a doctor, certainly you can learn from a crook, from a thief. All these people teach you lessons and you become a better person because you understand how people work. I want to talk today about 6 human skills that everybody should know. So, human skill number 1. If you are not willing to leave the table, then you cannot negotiate. I had once a customer, so I was in his store. I had my products. He says, I will buy your products. He put the money on the table, thousands of euros. I was very happy. But then he told me, listen, but I want also 10% more discount. You know, it's tough, eh? It's tough because you have it there. So I said, no, it's a no-go. And I took my merchandise and I left and said, no, come back, come back. It was just to test you. Or I assume many of you have been in relationships where you wanted to, you let things happen that you didn't like and you wanted to say, no, I want to go, but you never dared. So if you are not willing to stand up and leave the table, you cannot negotiate. Human skill number 2 is, if you are not respected, then leave. And disrespect starts from the little things. Somebody does not disrespect you boldly. He disrespects you a little bit to see how far he can go. And next time, he disrespects you a little bit more. If somebody disrespects you, then leave. Or you can set things straight. I used to have a great sales manager, a Scotchman. And he was telling to us always the example with the parachute handshake. The parachute handshake is the handshake that goes like this. So somebody greets you like this. So he says, when you receive this handshake, then turn your hand, put it straight. If the other person leaves, let him leave. Number 3, human skill number 3, control your emotions. Not every time you need to be reactive. Do you know those nice guys that they are always nice? They say he's a very nice guy. He's always polite. He's always nice. That ain't a nice guy. It's not a nice guy. He's a weak person. He cannot do differently. Or the other guy that you tell him something and he reacts immediately. He's immediately responsive. He's a fool. He's a victim of the bait that the other person puts in front of him. Don't be like that. Number 4 is the one that speaks less controls the conversation. Number 5 is recognize the patterns of communication. Communication due to social reasons, to civil courtesy, many times follows a pattern. And this pattern can be in your favor, so let it unfold, because you're going to gain something, or this pattern moves against you. If the pattern moves against you, break the pattern. What can happen? Break a deal, be not likable. Anyway, it would lead to something that you don't want. And the sixth human skill is understand the factors that influence the perception of your speaking partner. Understand where he comes from geographically, from which country, from which culture, from which social background he comes. Is he a man or is he a woman? What is his role? Is that a father in front of his son? Is that a manager? Is that the cleaning lady? Understand also the timing and the place. When do you have this conversation with him? Is that the right time? Where do you have this conversation? In which environment? All these things matter in order to have a better communication, become a better person yourself, and conclude in a positive outcome for all the participants. Thank you very much.